to this presentation on how to use Nearpod in math courses. I'm really going to focus on the activities that gear themselves well toward math and not so much on the how-to end of it. If you do need help actually creating, I would suggest contacting the media resource specialist on your campus, or there are lots of helpful videos. First thing I want to do is I want to talk about Canvas and Nearpod. I absolutely would 100% recommend running your Nearpod lessons through Canvas. You should probably all have noticed that each of your courses actually does have this little option here for Nearpod. If you click on this, you'll get the option to like sign in or authenticate or whatever it is. You should only have to do that one time. So I didn't have to do it because I have already done it. But you can see it does pull up my library, right? Paige Rogers' Nearpod course. That's the only time you should have to click on Nearpod in the navigation. Never again should you have to click on this. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go to settings, and then I'm going to go to navigation, and I'm going to drag Nearpod to the bottom, and I'm going to click save. Not only should you never have to click on it there again, your students should never click on it there. It will not take them where it needs to take them. So in order to create an assignment through Canvas and Nearpod, you're going to go to assignments or modules if you prefer to build from modules, and you're just going to create a new assignment. If you're familiar with creating assignments with external tools, it's exactly what we're going to do right now. So math, demo, Nearpod, instructions, yada, yada, yada. And then I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to make sure external tool is chosen, right? You have a few options, external tool, and then click find. And then any authenticated or installed apps for your Canvas courses are going to be showing up here. There's Nearpod. I have two. I'm not sure why I have two, but should be fine. And then you have all the lessons that are in your Nearpod library. So I'm going to choose mine, and I'm going to choose live participation. And then I'm going to click select, and I'm going to click save. Save and publish. Okay. I am going to go ahead now, and I'm going to run through this presentation from the student point of view only, and then we'll, make like a 180 there, and I'll show you the teacher end of it and how you can find the materials or create your own. Okay, so right now I'm logged into my son's account. So this is the student view for Canvas, and that's what you see here in the main window. Up in this small window on the right is actually my iPad screen. And that's where I'm going to be running the lesson as a teacher so that we can kind of go through this together. I'm going to click on Math Demo Nearpod, the assignment that we just made, as a student. But before we do that, I'm going to get it running as a teacher. So over here on my iPad, I'm going to click on the Canvas Teacher app, which is this little yellow one right here that you can kind of see. And what's really interesting is that I don't run the Nearpod session from nearpod.com if I've assigned it through Canvas. I actually assign it through, I actually run it through Canvas. So it's taking a minute here to load, but we're going to click Launch External Tool. And here we go. So I have it all ready to go to click Start Activity, but now I'm going to just go and I'm going to get my son's account, the student account, going here. Now remember, both the teacher and the student are running these through Canvas, not through nearpod.com. All right, so on my son's account, it says wait for your teacher, ready, set, and so they're waiting for me to click Start Activity on my iPad. So here we go, I'm going to do that now. Okay, so my son sees the prompt, the student sees the prompt. What do you think will be the most common mistake student will make when answering this type of question? Obviously, I didn't specify a question type, so I'm going to say forgetting that you cannot distribute an exponent. My son is very smart. Okay, and I'm going to click submit. Here we go. Now, he did have this timer here, so other students could be answering, right? So they're going to expect to have 20 more minutes, but we on the teacher end can go ahead and we can look over here. I know you can't see those words exactly. Let me make this a little bit bigger. So we can see Chase, we can see his name, right? Now, if we wanted to, we could click share. I might suggest, if you want to share these answers with other people, that you consider hiding student names, unless it's a fantastic answer and you don't mind if the student wouldn't mind if you shared. Okay, so he sees time's up. Over on my end, I am going to click that share button because I just really think that's a great answer. And so there is that option, right? He can see this good answer. And then you, of course, as a teacher, you can go over here and you can unshare, right? And then you can share another one, or however else it is that you want to handle that. Okay, so on his end, he doesn't have anything to do. He's waiting for the teacher. So I'm going to click this blue arrow up here on the teacher end. All right. This is just an external link. I don't know how much we use these as math teachers. I think it's a great idea to kind of relate what's going on in the math classroom to the world. So the reason I like this is, as a student, if I say click here to open this web page, they don't have to go search for it or open their own window. That kind of all gets done for them. And then they have all of this kind of handy in one spot. So I just thought that was really functional. You may have a different kind of idea for sharing URLs, but that is how to share web pages with the kids. Before I go any further, just because it caught my eye, I just want to talk about this feature right here, this notes feature. I'm going to click on this as the student, and the student can click Save to Google Drive, which is what I would encourage them to do. And we will save it to his student Google Drive account. And what's really cool is that he's going to be able to take notes on the side. Like he's like, great article, follow up, or whatever. When we finish this lesson, he's going to get the notes that he typed. He's also going to get the whole presentation. So he's going to get all the slides and his notes straight to his Google Drive, which I think some students are really, really going to utilize and appreciate. I think it's just a really, really functional feature. All right, I'm going to click on to the next one. This is a PhET simulation. These are so cool. I grabbed 2 of these because I kind of was thinking 6th grade through 12th grade. There's a lot of functionality here. So right here, my son, or the student, has an area model. And as a teacher, you're seeing pretty much exactly the same thing over here. So as a teacher, you're going to be encouraging your students to play around with this area model. Look what happens when you make it longer or taller. How does the area change? They've also got, you can change the dimensions here. It automatically changes the area. You can look at partial products. You can look at partial products a different way. And then you've also got the area model calculations. It shows you the distribution, which I think is really cool. You can make it bigger or smaller. This would be like a really great explore activity for those of you who do the 5 E's. For just, and they have a lot of these. It's not just area. They have slope, and they have graphing, and they have, well, here, I'll show you another one. So here on the teacher end, I'm going to click to the next slide with the blue arrow. This is a simulation for trigonometry. So in this one, students can play with these different graphs, like trigonomic graphs. They can also look at the different cosine theta values. It tells them the angle, right? -58 degrees. They also have the XY coordinates, which I think is cool. You can make it show the sine or the tangent, graphs for whatever it is they're looking at. You got special angles or labels, or it's just really cool. It really is a great way for the kids to kind of play around with this, especially if you're teaching the unit circle. This might be a really, really awesome tool for kids to really visualize all these angles here, right? And it popped up with all the, I don't remember what they're called, right? These special angles, pi/6, pi/3, whatever. Okay. So guys, remember, these are called PhET simulations. You don't make these. You're just going to have to choose from what's there. So there may be something that works for you. There may not be, but anytime they are available, I would really encourage you to use them because they work really well, and I like them way better than GeoGebra. Okay, on to the next. So this is a Desmos graph. And I chose this one and didn't really look at it at first. And then I looked at it some more, and it got really overwhelming because I do not remember a lot about geometry. It's been a while. But what's cool is I just chose this from like a pre-made list of Desmo's activities that is in Nearpod. And so this was there for me. They have all this interactive stuff already. They had these points made. They had the H slider on there, the text explanation of what's coming next. The kids can, slide and increase or decrease the radius length for the graph and what's on there. Chord bisection, just really cool stuff. You've also got formulas, right? Which I don't even remember teaching that. Maybe I did. You can have them label different values on there. So if this is something that would work well for you, again, this is more on that like exploration side to help kids get engaged and help them connect the dots of what you're teaching them and how it's applied. I've got one more Desmo's activity that I just thought was cool. And one more time, these are pre-made. I did not make these Desmo's activities. I'm sure you probably could make your own. I just did not want to mess with the time. Okay, so this is for statistics, and you guys can see that the teacher view for all these activities is really exactly what the student is seeing. So what we can do is we can look and we can just kind of see what's pre-made here. We've got all these different formulas. We have got, let's see, standard, normal. We've got, I don't remember what these stand for, normal, CDF. We've got the integral. I mean, this is really pretty exhaustive. You can come in here and you can like mess with stuff and it will change values for things. You can look at 2 standard deviations. I mean, my stats teachers out there, I'm sure that you are getting ideas about how this can be applied. And again, right now, and I'm going to point this feature out on the teacher view, I can see right now how many students are logged on. If this is green, it means that all the students that are in the presentation are actually viewing the presentation. If it's red, that means that somebody is not doing what they're supposed to do. I believe I can actually click this, and then it'll tell me the name of the kid who's engaged versus who isn't engaged, or who's viewing versus isn't viewing. So I think that's a really great feature on the teacher side of this thing. Is always watch for this icon to be green, because if it goes red, you can pop over there and you can say, hey, so-and-so, I know you're not viewing what I need you to be viewing. Let's get with it, or however you want to handle that. All right, we're going to go ahead and go to the next one. So this is matching pairs. And so you have instructions that you put in here. These just say match the corresponding tiles. I'm going to get this out of the way. So as the student, you see all these different tiles. You've got a line, and let's see, we'll put that with positive slope. I'm going to get the next one wrong on purpose so you can see what that looks like. And you can see it just doesn't stick. So like you get another chance to kind of finish. Okay, now what the teacher sees is the teacher can see how many matches they got, how many tries it took them, right? They got 3 out of 3, but it took them 4 tries, which means that they messed up 1 time, right? You guys are math teachers. I don't think I need to explain to you how that works. You can even view the pairs on there, but if you're the one who makes them, you probably don't need to look at them right now. Just a quick word about this one is when you are making the matching squares, you do only have the option for a pair of items. You can do words with words, you can do images with images. They actually have a beta kind of option to use math type, and it's not math type the program, it's just like math symbols and things like that when you're making these matching pairs, which I thought was pretty cool. So you can use actual function notation and integrals and all that kind of stuff. All right, so again, this is what my student is seeing. Well done, 4 tries, but again, he has to wait on me to keep going. So I'm going to click to the next one. All right, so this is a draw it activity, and I think this is really, really cool. The draw activity is something, usually it's just kind of silly. You throw a picture or you sketch or you do whatever. But I want to kind of show you the prompt that I did. So as the teacher, I'm going to click Start Activity. And then the student has the instruction, draw a line with an undefined slope, and they do have a timer on this one. So I'm using my trackpad, your students would be using their trackpad, and what's really cool is I got to put a graph here as like a stimulus, but I can actually draw on it. So I think the default is a pencil, so I'm just going to try and draw. Yep, there we go. I'm using the trackpad on my computer to draw a line. You can see here, even though I haven't submitted it yet, that I did actually draw something. And then here we go. So the bad thing about this, oh no, here we go. It does say that Chase Rogers submitted, which I didn't think it was going to show because I didn't actually click submit, but it must have done it for me. So I'm going to click on this as a teacher. And what's cool is that I can click share. So if I click share, then the students should all be seeing that. Right? So it doesn't say his name. It just is an example showing here what he drew. Remember, they can't see all the submissions. So if you do get one that's just really awful or somebody writes a bad word or whatever, nobody else is going to see that except for you, and it's Canvas tied. So you actually will know every single kid who does something like that, just FYI. So if I wanted to share another one, I would click unshare here and I would find another submission. Obviously I don't have another submission, so that's just something to consider. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and on to the next. Okay, so this is a poll, and for a poll it has to be multiple choice, obviously, right? It's a poll. You answer the question, how much time do you spend doing math outside the school day? We're gonna say less than an hour. All right, and then the student clicks submit, and that's it, that's all they see. If we look at the teacher end of it, then you can see who submitted, right? Chase Rogers submitted. You get this color wheel, right? This breakdown, this Venn diagram kind of looking breakdown of who answered what. And what I think is cool is you can share this with the kids. So if this was really kind of a question like where you're getting lots of different answers, I think it would be cool to share with them, because I think it kind of gives them a little bit of perspective and you kind of understand the culture of the room a little bit better if your question is relevant. And I just think that's really neat that you can share that with kids. Right, so that's when I'm sharing. All right, I'm gonna go back to the teacher version. I'm gonna click unshare, and then we're gonna go on to the next. So this feature is a fill in the blank. And the fill in the blank is really like a drag and drop for words. So what the student can do is they kind of have like word banks down here, and they're supposed to drag these over. I'm going to do them incorrectly just so we can see what happens. And if I click done, I don't get a chance to do it again. Let's see, maybe if I click close, maybe, nope. So the student doesn't get a chance to do it again, and then on the teacher side of things, you just get to see their score, right? You're not going to share these results. I don't think you can even on this one, but you do get to see their score, which is just a really quick feature there. Okay, the last one on here, I don't know how well this is going to work. It's just an idea I had, and I think it would be cool, so just follow along with me. This is the collaborate feature, okay? As a teacher, you can see that I have to choose whether or not to approve student comments before they're posted. I don't know about the kids that you teach, but the kids that I taught, yes, I definitely want to approve comments before they are posted. Okay, so here we go. Let's look at the student view. Warm-up reflection. Share your mistakes. Please use your phone or laptop camera to upload a picture of your warm-up. Please make sure your work is showing. Incorrect work is encouraged. Help us identify common errors. So this is kind of like a play on an activity in the math classroom that I love called My Favorite No, where you really encourage kids to share what mistakes they made, because in math, a lot of the time kids are making the same mistakes. And so it kind of starts to normalize what's happening and makes them more aware of how common it is and how to really watch out for stuff. So what I'm asking them to do, so as a student, I would have to click this right here, and I would have to upload my image, right? And I don't have an image. So what that would mean is that the kids would have to take a picture with their webcam or with their phone. So I'm screen recording. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna open up Photo Booth. Okay. And I'm going to pretend like this is my warm-up. Okay, I know this is backwards for you guys, and I apologize. But we're going to take a picture. Okay. All right, we're going to close photo booth. And then we are going to click right here, and we're going to click, and we should be able to go and find the picture that we just took. I'm just going to try to go to recents. I don't know if it's going to be here. We'll have to see. Okay. Nope, it's not right there. Got to go all the way down to photos and photo booth. And there's my picture. Click open and click save. So as a student, right, I just submitted something, or I didn't do it yet. Sorry, it's right here. I have to click post. Okay, so as a student, I can see mine and I can see that it's pending approval. So let's look at the teacher view. I have to, because I chose to pre-approve all the posts, I have to click this little box up here. And then I get to see what they did. And I'm on my iPad, so I can kind of zoom in here. All right, yeah, I can see what they did, and I can see that it's incorrect. So that's good, that's what I want. I'm gonna click the green arrow. And now it shows up for everybody. So as the students, we see it no longer says pending approval. So if I was running a Zoom Nearpod session, I would take a minute and I would talk, and I would, talk to the kids, and I would say, like, what happened? Why is this incorrect? Did anybody else make the same mistake? And we would just kind of hit the most often mistakes for this type of problem, right? And again, that's collaborate. Another feature for collaboration is, you can just post like, I forgot 2 negatives, make a positive, right? Whatever. So I can actually post again. And that's, so kids can really kind of do it any way that works for you. And yeah, that's their option. So that is my presentation of the special features of Nearpod. I am now going to run through just a couple of things on the teacher side of Canvas. I'm going to minimize that. Okay. So on the teacher end, right here, this is kind of where we were before. What I need to do is I need to go and click. I need to end this activity. Okay. Let's see. Oh, it's not going to make me end it. That's nice. All right, so this is done, and we're working, and we can reopen this back up for another class period. But what I want to show you guys right now is, again, this is my teacher account, not the student account. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on SpeedGrader. All right, so this is my son. This is who was working, and we're going to look at his report. And it's really cool that the kids' participation and answers and everything automatically go to their name in the SpeedGrader, just individually. You don't get a report with 150 kids. It's just the one kid. So we can see his performance was 100%. The overall class was also 100% because it was just him. We see quizzes are 0%, but that's because we didn't have any quizzes. But what we can do is we can scroll down. You can see his poll and his answer to the poll. You can see his answers to the open-ended question. The collaborate slide, we can't really see exactly what was posted. Well, that's linked. Can I click that? Oh, that is so cool. Okay, so yes, if you click on it, you can actually see what the student posted. That is so, so cool. Okay, we can see their drawing. We can see everything, you guys. So it does not automatically assign a score. Like, it doesn't go by the participation or the quiz percentage or anything like that. So you as the teacher would have to decide what grade you wanted to give them. And then of course you would just click submit. You can also always provide video feedback and just say, hey, great job, great to see you today, keep up the good work, whatever. And then not only would they have their report in SpeedGrader of how they did, but they would also have your individual feedback about their participation in your session that day. Okay, before I log off here, I'm going to show you guys Nearpod as the teacher. Again, you guys have the option to create in Nearpod. You have the option to create in Google Slides, and then you have this video option. I haven't used this yet. I've been told it's really similar to Edpuzzle. So if you don't have the upgraded license to Edpuzzle, maybe this is something that you start playing with. Anyway, I created the lesson that we just went through in Nearpod. In Google Slides, you have to have an add-on to edit these kinds of Nearpod features, and I have lots of teachers who are split. Some love building in Nearpod, some love building in Google Slides. Again, attend a session, or you probably already attended a session about how to do all that. So I just kind of wanted to go through the features that we used. And so I'm going to click here and I'm going to go to edit. The features that we used were open-ended questions, web content, PhET simulations, Desmos activities, matching pairs, draw it, poll, fill in the blanks, and collaborate. So whether you're in Google Slides or you're on nearpod.com, you would just click add a slide, and then you would decide where you wanted to pull from. The two I think are really math specific. I would say are PhET simulations, I'd like math and science, and also the Desmos graphing calculator. So I'm just going to show you the option here. When you click PhET simulation, it does give you middle school math or high school math. And there are some physicsy type stuff that's in there too. And you may not find something exactly like what you're looking for. But look, we've got graphing quadratics, not just regular, but from standard form with focus and directrix, just exploring, what those different sliders can do. There's so many cool PhET simulations that you guys could be exploring. And the other one here is Desmos. And so I just kind of wanted to show you, I use Desmos and I had never seen what Nearpod has done with Desmos. So you might take a second and come in here and just kind of explore these different pre-made options. Okay. You can't see in my screen recording, but there's an option right under here that says send us suggestions. So if you wanted something that's not here, I would definitely send in a suggestion. You can see this is in beta, so they're still developing this. And you can also filter by what you're teaching. And it does give you definitely a more focused list of options for your search. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click back. And that's it. Now, I do want to clarify, in my presentation, I used all Nearpod features. You definitely can have actual slides with content, instructions like a normal PowerPoint or a normal Google Slides presentation, and you would upload those here. I've heard PDF is the most foolproof in terms of keeping content properly formatted. But I've done PowerPoint before and that's worked fine. If you're going to use Google Slides, do it from Google Slides and not from nearpod.com. Just a word to the wise. Okay, that is it for my presentation today. I hope you enjoyed it and that you learned something new. If you have any questions about Nearpod, how to run it, how to look at the reports, or how to add content, please feel free to contact me or your media specialist on your campus. Thank you, and I will talk to everybody soon.